The 2023 FIDE World Cup is known as one of the biggest over-the-board knockout events of the year, hosting a striking 206 grandmasters, all competing for a piece of the prize fund of $1.8 million. In this room of chess supremacy, one man stands out against the crowd, playing some of the best chess in his entire career, the great Hikaru Nakamura. Known for destroying his opponents with his superhuman speed and lethal accuracy. Across the board, his opponent is none other than the rising star, Rameshbabu Praggnanandhaa, posting an impressive rating of 2,707, which he achieved at just 18 years old. Both players, who are competing for a spot in the following round, meet at the board for one of the most dramatic matches of the tournament. The match kicks off with Pragg opening with pawn to e4. Hikaru responds with pawn to d6, initiating a perk defense. Pragg proceeds to push a second pawn to d4, establishing an active central presence. Hikaru quickly positions his bishop to g7, indicating his intention to develop a strong defensive position. As the board continues to progress, both players are meticulously positioning their pieces with white holding the advantage. Pragg, maintaining control of the center, moves his pawn to h3, forcing Hikaru to withdraw his knight to f6. Pragg, matching Hikaru's pace, swiftly gets his queen involved, working it to e2. He removes his jacket, realizing Hikaru now sees him as a threat and prepares to take the grandmaster head-on. Hikaru immediately responds by challenging White's centerpieces, leading to Pragg initiating the first pawn exchange of the game. Hikaru thinks this is a good opportunity to castle his king, but he couldn't have been more mistaken. Pragg moves his rook to d1, afterwards glances into the audience. Completely unaware of the dilemma Hikaru faces over his next move, a simple bishop is brought to d7, followed by a knight to c3. Nakamura, after contemplation, activates his queen, intending to connect his stronger pieces and support his e5 pawn. White shifts his bishop to g5, disrupting Black's piece coordination. While Hikaru is easily the more experienced player, he is being overwhelmed by the 18-year-old Pragg's sheer chess talent. But Nakamura refuses to surrender, pushing his knight to h5, a necessary move to save his knight and keep him in the game. Relentless Pragg moves queen to d2, aiming at Black's kingside. Hikaru, still battling for position, moves his pawn to h6, advancing his front line. Pragg, attempting to dwindle Hikaru's resources, offers him a bishop trade, which he accepts. Pragg quickly pushes his queen to c3, preparing to launch a secondary attack on the queen side. Hikaru defends with bishop to d7, reinforcing his knight, forcing Pragg to retreat his bishop to a4, allowing Hikaru to surge forward. Hikaru slowly claws his way back into the game, but is immediately stunned again by Pragg's queen to c5. A defining move, once again pressuring Hikaru's key pieces. Hikaru's response with queen to b7 aims to set up a counterattack, as Hikaru must move to solidify his control. Pragg continues with the pressure. With a simple pawn to g4, he has taken aim at Hikaru's knight, threatening him on both sides of the board. Hikaru shakes his head in disbelief of the board's arrangement before moving his pawn to c6. As the game reaches its climax, Pragg plays the move of the match, putting his knight into traffic on b6, assuring himself White's bishop on d7. Hikaru, now visually frustrated with his current setup, knows the bishop is lost and advances his own knight to f6, closing in on White's king. As expected, Pragg takes the bishop on d7 with his knight, now targeting Hikaru's trapped knight on b8. The backside knights are exchanged, with Hikaru capturing the b8 square with his rook. Pragg continues to ride his momentum by taking Black's rook on a7 with his queen, yet another masterful move by the 18-year-old. Pragg has initiated a queen trade. Hikaru must take White's queen with his own, allowing Pragg to activate his stacked rooks and pressure Black's king, forcing Hikaru to sacrifice his own queen in the process. While Hikaru is definitely on the back foot, he still has a puncher's chance, as both players have expended most of their resources to reach this point. But unfortunately for him, the young man across the board has a different ending in mind, with Pragg shifting bishop to f5. The killing blow. Hikaru chooses to resign. Pragg walks away the winner and will advance into the next round. Hikaru put up a fight against a young prodigy and fell short. But check out another chess star, Magnus Carlsen, and his most embarrassing losses of all time here.